How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be working on the dust collection on this wall. Now we're not putting in a real big dust collection. We just want to try to put in something that's going to hold down the dust a little bit. We don't have a lot of machines, but we would like to have the planer on it. And then I don't care if I have to move the hose from the planer to maybe the router table and then the surface planer. I don't care if I have to move that one hose around. I don't want to put a bunch of hoses coming off of it because I'm not so sure how that little Harbor Freight dust collector, how much power it's really got, and will it do a big bunch. So we want to put a run down this side, at least one branch off, so we can hook these three tools up. And like I said, if I have to hook them individually, I'm okay with that. And then I would like to have one to go out there, so when we hook up the table saw, we can hook the table saw in, and then if we're using the chop saw, we can move it over and hook the chop saw into it. I know that that doesn't sound, you know, you would like to have all your tools hooked up and they stay hooked up. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to do that because I don't think the system's that big. So we want to do a short run, as big a pipe as we can, and hope for the best. So I'm going to show you what I got to work with, and I'm trying to warm the garage up now. It's actually pretty cold in here. It's about 45. I think it's cold. A lot of people probably think that's good working weather. But anyhow, let me show you what I have to work with, and we'll get started. Okay, on the table here we have a couple pieces of 4-inch. Now this is just galvanized pipe. We have 3 sections of it. They're 5 feet long. And these are the kind you just put together. You're going to lock them together. And then I have 3 of them. And then I have this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, but this is that aluminum flex tubing. What I thought is, instead of buying a bunch of elbows, I bought a piece of this. And maybe I can make them elbows so they're not quite a 90 out of this. I don't know how it'll work. I know on your vacuum cleaner you got, you know, it's corrugated, so I don't know how much dust will collect in this pipe. I'm not really sure. And then we got a couple clamps here. I bought a couple extra clamps. And then over here, now y'all remember when we did the little video on the accessory kit for the dust collector? We have this piece here, which has a bunch of clamps in it, a bunch of connections and a bunch of clamps that we'll be going through and using them. Now we have the 13-gallon Central Machinery vacuum here, and I have this drum. And what I was thinking on this drum is, I'm going to try to run my dust into here first, and then come out of here and go into this vacuum. So this is going to catch the biggest part of it, and then this would catch the rest, what this doesn't catch. But I know it's not going to filter out minute small dust. We're still going to get dust. It doesn't have actually a filter, it just has a bag. So we know we're not going to get every bit of it, but if you look around on the walls, I think we can get this stuff. I know we're not going to get it all, but I was thinking in this, out of this, into there, this catches the majority of it, and then when this gets filled up, we just empty it. Can we do it? I don't know, we'll see. It's just, I kind of got it in my mind what I want, and I'm going to do it. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of these together. Sometimes these can be a bit tricky because you got to kind of bend them to get them latched together, and you'll push them down, hook that in, and then kind of twist it down. It's weird, but I think I did a short or a small video on that and everybody loved it. Okay, like I said, some of this can be a bit of a pain, but we're gonna just make it round again. Now that we got it together. This stuff is not easy to work with, but it will work. So, one together and one to go. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put some clear silicone on all the seams because we don't want any leaks at all on this stuff. The more leaks you have, the less vacuum you're going to get. Try another one. Okay, that one looked together a little better. Now I really haven't actually checked these with the pipe over there that we got in the accessory kit. I haven't checked them with that, but we're going to do that right now to see how this pipe will hook up to that pipe over there. Okay, I got a piece of hose here out of the accessory kit, and this is the flared end of that pipe. And I think it will go in there. It's going to be awful tight, but you do want it tight. So I think we could get it on. We'd have to work at it a little bit. Like I said, I think it'll fit. It'll be a little tight, but I think it'll be okay. That will go up on there. But now let's try one of these pieces. Now that may not go on there. Let's try the other side of it. Oh, that fits in there just perfect. So then we could use that as our shutter here to close that run down. I think that's going to work really good on that side. I think it's going to work out okay. Like I said, we'll use silicone on all the seams to make sure we don't have any leaks. Like I said, more leaks, less vacuum. Alright, so I'm going to put my vacuum right here. I think right on these will give it support. I apologize for the noise. I got a couple fans on trying to move the heat around in here so it's a little bit louder. But I'm not going to put the silicone on these just yet because we're going to be handling putting them together. But what I'll do is we're going to keep our seam out to where we can get to it because I want to silicone that seam. I'll kind of stagger and put one up high, but I can still get to silicone it and then maybe one down a little bit. We don't want all these on the same one. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this down. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and bring our next one in. This is like it's a 15-foot run, but I think I'm going to have to figure out how my Y is going to go in here. So I'd like to get this pipe to go down and hook right onto the planer. That's not a good thing, I don't think. Maybe something like that. That puts that out there pretty far though. Let's see. I'll tell you what would be nice if I had a couple more of them shutoffs. I really like them shutoffs. Let's get this one slid in here and see how it goes. Now they say these create a lot of static electricity. I'm hoping we don't have a lot of that. We'll try to ground it to the shipping container. Now let's see if this guy, see that guy does not want to go into there. so. And I don't like that female end going the other way. I'm going to get this figured out and then we'll get you guys right back in here. We're going to shorten that first piece of pipe we put in. And I'm going to take about 10 inches off of it. I don't know if you could see. I just came along here and made kind of a dotted line and took my tape measure all the way around so I can get a fairly decently straight cut on that. And I'm just going to be using a 4-inch grinder and we're just going to cut it straight off the best we can. I think that left us with a pretty good cut. So what I'll do is I'll take these to the sander out there and we'll clean up the edges so we don't get cut on them. Now if you don't have a sander to take it on, find you a rat tail file and go ahead and clean all those metal shavings off there because we sure don't want to get cut. Just go around your outside the same way. You just want to get them sharp filings off there. Now basically everything that we're doing today is trial and error because I'm not no professional at this. If we can get this planer hooked up today, I'll be real happy because this makes the most dust. Okay, on this piece here, I'm going to go ahead and take this end off because we want, the way it's set up right now, it won't go into that plastic Y, and I'll show you when we get over. We're going to go ahead and take this off because we want all of our female going towards the piece of equipment that we want to hook up. We want the male end going towards the vacuum cleaner. So that's the way I want it. It's not facts, that's just me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. So we're going to get this one slid into place and see if we can get it hooked up. Alright, we're going to put our last piece of pipe here together. The pain in the butt ones. Alright, that's our last one. We might end up having to go get some more. Now, like I said, we're just going to dry fit this together, and then once we get all the pieces that will work and hook up, then we'll get them attached. We'll get them hooked up for pretty much good. Now this is where I'm going to use a piece of this flex line to go down and hook to this planer. And I think, we'll make sure here. You hate to waste any of this because it's so daggone expensive. Everything's so expensive anymore. So we're going to just go just maybe an inch or so bigger. I got my mark and we'll go ahead and cut that off. Okay, I found my mark here. But I also found a crack in this right here. I didn't put that in there. That was boxed like that. So be careful when you buy these. I don't know how much of it is cracked, but we're going to go ahead and cut this off. Now we're going to get a pair of snippers and snip the rest of that. These side cuts, or these 10 snips, work pretty good there. I'll show you this hole in this. Look, we got a hole right there, and it. Geez, look at that! I'm just ripping that with my finger. You see that? That's not good. But anyhow, we're going to use what we can out of this accessories kit. So we're going to get this piece put on, and get it hooked up. Now, like I said, we're not going to be hooking any clamps on this yet. We're just going to get it all pieced together to make sure everything fits. I probably could use a little dish liquid on this thing. I mean, it's up on there pretty tight. So we're just trying to get everything lined up. So when we do put it together, we're in the right spot. So that looks pretty good. We need to go pick up one more piece of this 4-inch conduit here. So we'll have a shut off right here for this planer. I think that's going to work out pretty good. It looks pretty good on there. Okay, I've been sitting here doing some pretty serious thinking about this thing, and I know that I would much rather have my pipe going through the side, so it kind of makes like a tornado type thing inside, and have this piece going to the vacuum over there, going into the vacuum, and one going into the side, say like this be on the side, going in, and then everything would go to the outside. Hopefully it wouldn't get sucked through this hole. But I honestly don't think that my vacuum has enough power. It's just a small vacuum. I'm just thinking of maybe I should put the one on this side and one on this side, because it's such a small vacuum. I don't think, I mean, it's going to get some dust back there, and we know it's going to get some. But my thing is I know we got a lot of planing to do, we got a lot of trim work for the house to do, and I would really like to have something that would hold a lot more dust than just that bag. So I'm not 100% whether this is going to work, but I think I'm going to put one on this side and one on this side, and just use it basically the same as your vacuum cleaner. Your vacuum cleaner's set up the same way. You got one blowing in, and then in the center you got that one sucking out with a filter. Now, we don't have a filter on this one, but I think that we'll get a lot in here before it starts going up through this pipe and through the thing, or through the vacuum. So I kind of wish had some of you guys here to help me figure this thing out, but we know our pipe. The crazy thing is when you go in to buy pipe, nothing matches up with the vacuum pipe. And in every single machine, you want to suck the dust off of. It's got a different fitting on it, so it's not that easy to get everything to line up. I have a piece of this green pipe, and it'll actually fit inside that. But that's not really a good thing in my case. Coming down in, I need it to go outside. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how we can put these guys as close to the edge over here and as close to that edge, and hopefully it'll go in this way and it won't suck it all out that way. That's what I'm hoping for. So I guess we're just going to have to try it and find out and see how it works. So now I got to figure out how, because these have to be sealed pretty good, and I have a daggone bump right here going around here. I don't know if I could heat that up with a heat gun and push the bump down, maybe. I don't know. And get that to seal up on there. Or should I just put some kind of sealer underneath of it and put it just like it is so I don't screw up the lid? So I'm going to get this figured out. I think I'm going to go this route, one in and one out, because I'm going to need to take the lid off to get the bottom out and go dump it. If this literally could suspend in air over there, I could put something on there to hold it up. When I pick it up, slide my barrel out and go dump it. I think it'll work. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and drill this out, and I'm gonna put some silicone or something underneath of this to seal these on. But we'll mark our holes and set it down on there, and I think this will work. So I'm gonna get to marking my holes and getting them. I really hate cutting this drum. I really like this drum. I do have another one out there, but I do hate cutting it. So we're going to get started here doing something. We can sit and think about it all day and never get nowhere, or we can just do it and be happy with what we've done. Alright, we're going to do it. Alright, this is a 4.5 inch bit. It's going to be fine. It's a little bigger than what we need, but it's the only one I got. So we're going to give it a try, and it's for, I think this thing's for masonry, but it might work. Actually, it worked pretty good. So we're basically going to get this thing screwed in here now. And then we're going to do another one right on straight across from this one, as far away as we can. That one will be over here and this one will be over here. Hopefully it'll go in there and suck air out here, but not suck all the dust out. So hopefully that works okay. I think with such a small system like this, it will work, but we're just going to have to see, because I'm not 100% on it. I am really not 100% on whether this will work or not. It should work basically like a vacuum cleaner, I think. I know they're different, but we're going to see if we can get it to work. It's not like we got a lot to do, so. Alright, we got our holes. See, this pipe here would fit in there. I don't know. we're just going to keep going with what we got here. Okay, we're going to get ready to set this down on there. Alright, we got our surfaces here cleaned up pretty good. We're just going to use some caulk here, some silicone caulk, and we're going to put this on pretty heavy. This is what we had left over from the bathroom and stuff in the house. We might as well use it up. I figured it'd seal up the bathroom and seal up this. Okay, we're just going to center that up on there. Get this caulk all the way around. And then we're going to go ahead and drill some holes and screw this thing down. Now we could probably cut these screws off later from the inside if they look like they're going to be jabbing people or whatever. We'll do all four corners first. Now, to be honest with you, that silicone really should hold that on there once it dries up real good. We just don't want no leaks. Whatever we do, we don't want leaks. No air leaks. Air leaks would be bad because the more air leaks we have, the less vacuum we're going to have. So we're just going to make it look as pretty as we can here. And I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to do the other side exactly the same. Okay, that should be good. I think so. We're going to leave these set until they completely dry. So one of these will be our inlet and one will be the out. Now, if I had it to do and I really wanted to do it the way I'd like to, it would be find a piece of pipe like this so long and be able to put it in the side of the bottom barrel so it would go around in a circle, or have it go in the top even around in a circle, but I don't have it, so we're going to work with what we have, and this is what we have. So you'll be able to see, we'll be able to cut these screws off, and we'll do that once we once it gets dried up real good. After it dries up real good, we'll cut them off. I think we're going to do okay. I really do. Alright. At least that part's done. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut the hose that will go up to here and hook onto this piece. I'm just going to use the hose because it's not going to make a real sharp 90. It should go out and come down pretty gradual. And I think that'll work better. This is the piece with the broken hole. We're going to save it, probably use it later. Somewhere else, I'm sure. Okay, so we got this piece on down around. Like I said, nothing's attached, nothing's clamped. It's just there right now. And then we got to do one hose from here over to the vacuum. I'll show you that. So what we'll do is we'll put our vacuum right there, and then we'll run our hose. Let's see here. We should be able to run our hose over, down into here, and make a loop into this down here. So we want to come into the side of this guy here. Alright, this is what we got so far. Pipe down into there, one going in that side, one coming out this side. I'm still not sold whether this thing's going to work like I want it to or not. We'll just have to see. Otherwise, I wanted this to fill up first because we could get the majority in this, and then whatever the bag catches is extra. But if this fills up, this is like probably 5 times or 6 times as amount that bag will hold. So if we can get it to go into here and not so much into there, into the bag, I think we'll be okay. So now all we got to do is hook our bag up to this, and I have to go to town and buy another piece to extend that out, and then we'll need a hose that we can go to the other room with. Now, if it comes down to it, I could always take this and just disconnect it there. It's portable, and I can move it around wherever I want in the shop if this system don't work. I'm hoping this all works out, but I think it will, but we'll see. We're going to run some wood through the planer once we get it all done, and we'll see if it plugs up anywhere, or you know, just how good it works. I tried not to get no real sharp bends on anything. I think we did pretty good there. We're going to have to get some, either we're going to get the metal tape or something. We got to make sure every little hole is sealed on all this ductwork. The only thing we have hooked to it now is the planer. This piece here, we're going to stop, and then I'm going to order some 1 or 2.5 inch pipe that will go right around the corner here and be able to pick up the table saw and the chop saw. So, because that table saw and the chop saw is not something we leave in that room. We have to take it out because we don't have a very big shop. We're going to get this piece cut and get it attached to it, and then we're going to go ahead and start putting all this pipe together and getting it tied down so it don't move. we have all of our clamps right here that came in our accessory kit that we had got from Harbor Freight. We have a bunch of these clamps. We're going to use clamps where we can use clamps. And especially on these hoses, I think we could use these clamps. I think it'll work out just fine. So we're going to be taking these and go ahead and stick the clamps on what we can, and then what we can't use clamps, I'm not so sure. I'm thinking about screwing them, putting a couple screws in them, but I don't want to put the screws down where it's going to catch a bunch of debris. But we're going to go ahead and get these on here. We have a few here to do that we can do pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and do what clamps that I can do. I'm going to get them on, and then we'll get you back in here and we'll figure out how we're going to do the metal. I have all my tubes clamped on, or it goes onto here and onto this piece. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to cut this little piece here out of the gray tube instead of using this, because I think the tubing seals up better than this metal. So we're going to get a piece of this gray tube, and then we'll be able to use 2 more of them clamps in between here and here, and that's going to seal that up tight. The only thing I noticed is where I put these together here, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me show you here. Right in this area here, you can see that there's a gap right here, and I don't want that gap. I think what we're going to do is we're going to maybe put some silicone in there and duct tape these to make sure that they don't leak air, because the more they leak, the less vacuum we're going to have. So we're going to go ahead and cut a small piece of this rubber tube and the length of this, and we'll put it on there with 2 clamps. I do honestly think that this will seal up better than that metal pipe. So, and we have a bunch of it left, so we might as well use it up. I'm trying to get my clamp just out there close to the end anywhere to make sure it gets good connection. I think we got good connection here. I think that's not going to go anywhere. That's pretty tight. So we're not going to have any air leaks there. I think we're going to be good. Now we got to start working on these metal pipes. These metal pipes are definitely going to be a lot harder to seal up, and especially where that one over there goes in. That's going to be my hardest one. But we're going to get it figured out here. To me, this was a pretty important elbow here. I put silicone underneath of it and sealed it up good, and I put 1 screw to hold this, and it's going down in the top so it doesn't catch a bunch of debris, and it's a real tiny little screw. And then we put the clamp on there. The reason why I wanted so much holding this is because this needs to be moved a good bit to be able to get that barrel in and out of there. So that's how that one's going to sit. And I think we got it sealed up nice and tight. We haven't forgotten all about the seams. We will do all the seams and make sure we got them sealed up good, because we don't want to lose any vacuum. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this piece right here, getting this in here. This one had a lot of air gap in it, and it had a lot of vacuum. I was losing a lot of vacuum here. So we're going to clamp this one, but what I'm going to do is, I know we have a seam up here, but I'm also going to cut a little bit right here, just where I'm going to put that clamp on there, maybe a little bit more, because we want that clamp to squish that down on there. But for me, I'm going to do all mine sort of like this. I am taking this caulk, this is that silicone, and we're going to go around this guy. We'll never get this bad boy back apart, but oh well. And we're going to put this all the way around this guy. We just want to make sure we're airtight. When we put this in there, we don't want no air escape. So we'll put this piece in here. I'm going to push that down a little bit, all the way around, just a little bit. This will help hold the pipe on too. And mind you, I'm not a professional here. By no means am I a professional at doing this stuff. I'm just trying to make a little short, small system for my garage, and that's it. So now we're going to get a clamp on there. I should be putting my clamps on first. Tagged on it. Let's put this clamp on there somehow. Oh, I got a mess. Mess! There we go. We got it on there. Alright. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick our clamp right over top of that end right there. I don't know how good these clamps are going to work, but I only have one more of the other clamps. See, that metal right there where we cut is overlapping itself now. And we're going to keep going until we get it fairly decently tight. You can see the stuff is squeezing out of it, the silicone. And it's buckling that up a little bit. It's working. Okay. It clamped it on there pretty daggone tight. As you see, it crimped that metal where I cut it. So we have a crimp there. Now we still have silicone on here. Like I said, we'll never get this bad boy back apart. And we're going to put some silicone down in there just so it don't have no leak. I'm going to go all the way around it with silicone. That's just my way of sealing it up there. I think it'll work okay. There's silicone underneath of it too, so looks like a mess. As long as it don't leak, I don't care. So we're going to continue going down that way, doing the same thing all the way down to the end. Before I get too far down there, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this right to this conduit here, and that's going to help keep this thing in place, because I don't want this to move until all that silicone dries. And I think that this will hold it into place pretty good. And like I said, this thing has to move a lot because you're going to be taking that drum off, and you don't want that to come unhooked there. And that was kind of a critical connection right there that I was having a hard time with. So I think that's going to work out, holding it right to that conduit. And then if we're moving this down here, it's not moving that up there so much. So that's going to be pretty good. And what we'll do is we'll go along here. Once we get it all into place, we'll start zip tying to these little hangers here. Them hangers make it nice. Put my conduit right inside of them. We have our pipe all installed now, and there's a little seam that goes down the top of this where we put this pipe together. I was going to put duct tape on it, but duct tape's been known to come off. If you noticed in the mini barn dominium, we built it and come off the wall. Well, I thought I had some of this silicone left over. There's no use in throwing it away. It's almost completely empty. I'm going to use it to fill in this little gap all the way along this pipe. Okay, it's been about 3 days since I've been in the garage. All this ductwork is now good and dry. I let this video kind of get away from me, and if you look down there and see how long this video is, it's a very long video. So we're not going to be running any material through it on this video. I'll do a separate video, a lot shorter, and we'll run through some material and see how the vacuum actually works. But I will show you a little bit. We'll put some dust in up here on this end, and we'll see if it'll pull it, which I don't think we're going to have any issues. Let's check it out. Okay, I have a bag of dust I've been sweeping up off the floor and off the machines. I'm going to go ahead and turn the vacuum on, and we're going to leave this gate open, and we're going to see how well it sucks. I did put my hand over it and it had a good vacuum, but now when I turn it on, it's going to be hard to hear. So let me get it turned on. But it's not that bad. Now, this dust here, I think might have came off of this dust may have come off of like the chop saw. So we're going to put it right above it, and we'll drop it, and you can see it sucking that dust back in there pretty decent. I don't know, we got another few feet to add on to it, so let's try it again. We'll put it right above it. It does suck it in pretty good. I think so. It's got a good vacuum. See if I can zoom in a little closer. Let's try it again. You can see the dust is going right in the hole here. Ooh, sucked a big old piece in there. I think it's working pretty good. We'll see more when we go to put it on the planer, because that planer, man, there's a lot of dust on it. You can hear that. It's got a good vacuum. Alright, so we're going to end this video here on that note. We know it's sucking air, and I think it's got a good vacuum to it. We sealed it up really good and tight. The next video, like I said, we'll run some wood through this planer. I noticed my planer needs reset here. It's not set up right, so we're going to get it set up, and then we're going to run some wood through it, and we're going to see how well it goes. Our main thing is we want it to be in the drum more than we do in the bag. And hopefully we accomplish that, but we'll have to see. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.